For much of the season, people acted like everything was fine smiles on TV. Careful phrases, talk about development and adjustment phases. But beneath that polished surface, something was breaking down, and it wasn't Caitlin Clark. It was the structure around her. So when Charles Barkley finally weighed in, it didn't come off as a flashy hot take. It sounded like someone who had been observing in silence and finally ran out of patience. His message was direct. You should be appreciating her. That line carried more weight than any debate all year, because it wasn't flattering, it was a reality check. Barkley was basically telling everyone to stop acting like this situation was complicated. Caitlin Clark didn't create an issue. She exposed one that was already there. From the moment she joined the league, the spotlight followed her in a way that made people uneasy. Not because attention itself was negative, but because it revealed a truth the league wasn't ready to face. Fans don't build loyalty to logos. They connect with individuals. And Caitlin Clark wasn't just another player added to a roster. She was already part of viewers' routines. Millions had followed her long before she stepped onto a pro court. They knew her shooting range, her poise, her confidence, her deep threes. So when she arrived, fans weren't being introduced to her, they were simply continuing what they had already been doing. That distinction matters because introductions can be managed. Momentum cannot. The league expected a settling-in phase, a slowdown in hype, a period where excitement would taper and things would balance out. What actually happened was the complete opposite.
Ooh, he said a lot. Joy, I will sound off quickly, and then I'm so eager to listen to what everybody else has to say. There's a very thin line between hate and facts, and what I believe to be the case is that there was incremental growth in the WNBA comparatively to the exponential growth we are seeing now. What I'm about to tell y'all I haven't heard before, so I doubt you have either. Before the 2023 season, the WNBA had grown by 40% viewership from 2022 to 2023. But with Caitlin Clark's arrival, it's grown by 400% viewership. What that means is if the WNBA were continue to grow at the rate it grew from 22 to 23, it'd take until 2028 to do what Caitlin Clark did this year. Okay, now let's not talk viewership, let's talk ticket sales. Bear with me. Ticket sales grew in 2023 by 16% from 2022. Ticket sales have grown by 93% in 2024. What that means is without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA would have taken until 2029 or 2030 to get where Caitlin Clark has gotten them today. Okay, we've talked ticket sales and we've talked viewership. Now let's talk about regular season viewership, not draft viewership. Regular season viewership, it grew by 20%.
The glare around her didn't fade, it grew stronger. Every building felt different when she was on the floor, not just louder, but charged in another way. Cameras were rolling before warm-ups even began. People who normally ignored certain matchups suddenly paid attention. That's when the strain started, not from the crowd, but internally. Some embraced the spotlight. Others saw it as a threat. And instead of riding that wave, the league seemed focused on controlling it. The messaging shifted to staying humble, blending in, waiting. Your turn, earning your place. BIE fans don't follow permission slips. They decide for themselves. And their choice was Caitlin Clark. The resistance didn't explode overnight. It appeared gradually, downplaying her influence, overanalyzing her personality, framing ordinary rookie challenges as proof she was overhyped. USA Basketball only added to the noise, leaving her off the roster, minimizing the significance, acting as if the game's direction wouldn't change with or without her. That move didn't settle anything. It stirred things up even more.
Game, she was chosen, like Joy said, and there's nothing you can do about that.
And that's crazy. Like everything y'all are saying, you know what that means? She's the GOAT. Y'all just giving GOAT facts. You talked about nobody's really watching. Now they watching, right? You get chartered planes now. Like, come on, the things you said, the things you just said, GOAT behavior. That's GOAT stats. And then everybody hates on the GOAT. Think about it, right? It was a time where everybody loved Michael. It was a time where people started hating on Michael Jordan, right? Was he gambling too much? Was this and that third? You talk about LeBron James. I mean, we already know his path. Kobe Bryant. When you to go to some people hate on it.
Magic Johnson.
Right? So I don't have a lot to say about it. It's just funny though, because it's like, you should be happy. The other day I was at a restaurant, very nice restaurant. And you know, typically they have like at the bar, they have like ESPN or Fox and they have this going on, that going on. They had Caitlin on. And you should see people that was all engaged. Older women, older gentlemen, right? Different races. And I'm sitting back, it's like, because, you know, I do this for a living, so I'm like, wow, this girl has really changed the game. And she doesn't have any championships. She don't have any all WNBA, right? She don't have none of that. Player of the year, she don't have none of that. She's just really, really nice. She went from college being nice down to pros, and now I'm uplifting their game. And we all should be thankful. The barbershop, that's the biggest talk show ever, is the barbershop, right in the hood. They talk about little LeBron and the Lakers. They talk about little Jason Tatum and the Celtics. You know what else they talking about? Little Kyrie Irving and Luka. But the last and maybe the biggest conversation is Caitlin Curry.
Yeah.
Clark.
And not only that, like, these teams...
It made everything feel louder, because while committees were sitting in rooms having discussions, the audience continued to tune into her relentlessly. Even as analysts tried to craft and shape the narrative, the viewership data was telling its own undeniable story. That's when the situation shifted into a completely different territory. From the very moment Caitlin Clark appeared in NBA environments, the reaction was immediate and unmistakable. NBA arenas focused on her not out of politeness, not halfway, but with full, undivided attention. It wasn't merely simple recognition. It was intense focus. Right then and there, it became clear that this moment had outgrown the simple label of women's basketball. This was about basketball, period, on the highest level. Basketball crowds are notoriously unforgiving. They aren't concerned with carefully constructed narratives or rigid hierarchies, respond directly to impact and authenticity. And Caitlin Clark delivered exactly that. The NBA audience wasn't drawn to her because of promotion, instruction, or any external encouragement. They gravitated toward her because she presented herself authentically, naturally, and with undeniable delay. Skill. The shift was monumental. Once NBA fans give their approval to a player, it permanently changes the conversation and the perceptions surrounding them. This is one of the toughest benchmarks to meet in sports culture, and she cleared it effortlessly, without pushing or forcing anything. She stayed composed, poised, and ready, discussing the game with the confidence and fluency of someone who truly understands the sport at its deepest level, and the audience responded in massive numbers, showing up in support and attention in a way that amplified her presence even further.